Timothy, let's have some wine and cheers.
Great to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Amazing.
Wow. This is actually my first time having wine, having whiskey in the morning.
That's great. We used to do these morning things called data in drinks. Remember, it was before lunch. It was always a good idea.
Yeah.
Always get the creativity.
Yeah, creativity and more refresh.
Yes.
But first of all, let me just introduce quickly Timothy Samutin. So he is the expert for Web3, working for DareWise and Live Beyond from Animoca. So today we are very glad to have him joining us, the leader launch. So we invited leaders across the industry to just share their view around everything in the marketing industry. Okay, so just dive right into what we want to do today. So perhaps what I want to know first of all, because I found recently there's like a resurgence of Bitcoin prices, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have been talking about crypto winter for a couple of years.
Yes.
And now we are coming out of the winter, and obviously this is a huge thing for you.
Yes.
Can you just share with us what's your take on that, especially around what you're doing around Web3,
Sure.
and what's the implication for the marketing and advertising industry?
So I think first it's actually very interesting what's happening now because Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Ethereum is also coming closer to the all-time high, and I kind of feel like no one is really talking about it this time. I think in 2021 when that happened, all the brands were crazy about it, marketers were crazy about it, everybody was talking about the metaverse and NFTs and all that stuff. But this time it's very different. I think so. Definitely for the Web3 industry, for us it's a big moment, right? We think we're getting the momentum going back again. We're getting the legitimacy because of the regulation changing in places like the US. Also Hong Kong. I mean, Hong Kong has done amazing advancements in regulating Web3 and crypto and digital assets. So I think for us in the Web3 industry, we just feel that we're finally being recognized. I also hope that the speculative aspect of crypto is not the one thing that makes the headlines every day in the media. Because things that we're building, so Animoca Brands, largest Web3 gaming group in the world, and the project I work for, we're actually bringing AAA gaming to Bitcoin, and that's never been done before. So, hopefully we can ride the wave while also building real products. I think this is the thing, right? I think a lot of crypto have remained speculative assets, but now finally the products are becoming more and more mature and going out there in the market. So great moment for us. I mean, we always wish we had more products out there to be ready before those kind of crypto rally happens, but it's what it is.
So I think a lot more focus is more around Bitcoin and Ethereum
right now,
at this stage, and as you said, it is pretty interesting to see a couple of years back when they goes up, then people were crazy about it, and event like this, everyone are talking about crypto, Web3, metaverse, but now everyone is talking about AI.
Yes.
But at the same time, as a matter of fact, the prices are really going up, and people and the Web3 is going back to the on stage. So what do you expect around especially around the metaverse side of the business?
I think the metaverse concept, that at least the concept that people were talking about 2 years ago, I think it was wrong.
I think
it was wrong.
Okay.
I think people were thinking, the metaverse is gonna be this virtual game, like the movie Ready Player One, and that we're gonna put brands, and then people are gonna go there and walk around in these virtual worlds. I think this is very wrong. I think this is the wrong idea of what a metaverse is. I think what the metaverse is just your digital life. And your digital life, sometimes it's going to be through your phone, sometimes it's going to be through a virtual world. Different generations are going to have a different view of what the metaverse is for them. And AI, if anything, is going to speed this up. It's going to speed up the fact that our lives are going to be more and more seamless digitally, more and more immersive. I don't know if you heard, so Zach Cass was talking about AI earlier.
Also,
Wow, that was amazing. So guys, you should check out Zach Cass, amazing thought leader in AI. And he was saying how, 10 years from now, we won't have a phone. And I was like, okay, and then he made really good points, so in 10 years, we're all going to be in the metaverse in one way or another, but it's not going to be, goggles on your face. And so I think brands, it was interesting that tested it a couple of years ago. I think now brands are coming back into Web3, but they understand more of the fundamentals, they understand more of the technology, they understand more the power of maybe tokenized economies. So, you can use blockchain to do a lot of tokenized experiences, like Starbucks on their app in the US or other things. So I think it's coming, but I just don't think people will use the word Web3 anymore or metaverse, because at the end you just want your customer to adopt.
It's just part of their daily life.
Yeah, exactly. So
just like when we have Web2, then we never talk about Web2, right?
Yeah.
It's just web, right?
So our game that we're building with Life Beyond, at the beginning, we are positioning ourselves as a Web3 game because those are kind of the first customers we can get. But 5 years from now, I don't want anybody to call Life Beyond a Web3 game. It's just a game.
It's just a game.
And it will be easy for you, for anybody here to, download the app, play the game, earn some tokens, and then, it should be seamless.
All right. So you talk about AI, right? The section from Zach was definitely amazing. And obviously they took all the spotlight today. Although the resurgence of Bitcoin prices, but how we should, what kind of messages that we should send to the marketer that they should take Web3 or Metaverse, despite you said that they should rethink how they understand the Metaverse. So why they now should go back and look at what they want to do in Web3, Metaverse or crypto. Why they want to do it now?
So I think it's funny because I feel, so I left Hong Kong 2 years ago, and back then was the first wave of Web3, right? And I was sharing a lot of my learnings and the findings with marketers back then. And actually what I would present today to the same marketers would be very different.
Okay.
I think the Web3 has shifted quite tremendously onto also more serious ways of doing it, because the hype is gone. So now it's a lot about data. It's a lot exactly. I mean, it's a lot about thinking about analyzing the data. Really thinking, okay, what are your target audiences? How do you build gamified experiences, tokenized experiences? So I would tell people, first step, go back and learn where Web3 is today, because it's not where it was 2 years ago. So I think the Web3 technology and also the Web3 companies that are still here now are not the same that were here 2 years ago. So I think just, keeping an open mind, just making sure the marketers are still aware of what's going on in the space is the most important thing. And of course, always have a Web3 champion in your team. You don't need the whole team to know everything about Web3. It's crazy. It's a crazy world out there. There's too much to know as a marketer, right? But make sure you have someone in your team that really is into this and can bring up to you interesting thoughts. And I always tell that to people. It's very likely that you have Web3 people in your company that maybe they're not in your marketing team. It's likely they're maybe in your IT team or engineering, or just randomly could be anybody. Just make sure you identify these people, because they can really help you navigate the new world. But AI, I think AI is more important because Web3 is first for marketers, it's more like a campaign, like a marketing campaign maybe at first, whereas AI is fundamentally, it's gonna change everyone's life. And so I think that's why people are more on that right now. But yeah, all the workflows are
And I
changing.
believe there are a lot of synergy between AI and Web3.
Yeah, of
so
course.
at the end of the day, they are just technology.
Yes.
So how to use them is
Yes.
actually the most essential part of the strategy. It's not about, okay, we want to use AI, so we have to have some AI element in their marketing strategy,
Yes.
but it's more about which technology they should use to solve their problem and achieve their goal.
And actually, a lot of my peers who work in Web3, a lot of them used to be either tech people or martech people.
Yeah.
Like I think, for people who understand marketing technology, actually, it's kind of easy to understand Web3 if you dig a little bit into it. And so that's why for me it was kind of easy to fall into this, because I'm always interested and curious about how tech can improve the customer experience. So as long as you keep that in mind, Web3 can do a lot of things for sure.
To do it again. One word I'd use to describe the South China Morning Post:
intelligence,
persistence,
understanding.
the South China Morning Post serve as a platform to host storytellings to really amplify the importance of culture.
It has great journalistic integrity. It's renowned for its quality.
media partnership plays a crucial role for us to tell the story of Hong Kong around the world.
I'm Edward Bell,
Alpha Lau,
Angel Siangle,
and I work with
the South China Morning Post.
So let's switch gear a little bit, not to technology part, but more the marketing part. So these days, a lot of marketers are looking at how to engage Gen Z. Gen Z. So obviously they are the future of the marketing and the future customer. So engaging Gen Z is the super important priority for a lot of the marketers.
Yes.
And so my understanding, Web3 and Gen Z, these younger people, they are more receptive onto new technology. So I think this is definitely a great opportunity that marketers should learn more about Web3 and new technology. So from your experience, I'm sure that you have a lot of chances to look at a lot of different projects. So what is the most impressive project that you have ever seen to engage Gen Z utilizing this technology or in the Web3?
So I think one of the most amazing projects I've seen. They're not doing great right now, but they still did an amazing job. I think Nike was, and it still is, and I'm sure they're working on some amazing stuff. I think Nike was a great example on how they leverage Web3 to really create amazing digital experiences for a new kind of audience. And Web3, just for those who are still not clear about what it is, Web3 is not blockchain, is not crypto. Okay, Web3, it's about really having the customer owning their content and owning their experience and being part of a true community. And what Nike did was, they onboarded thousands of people to this kind of community project where they wanted to get feedback from the community on their products, on digital products. They wanted to know, hey, what shoe should we produce next in the digital world and in the real world? How does digital translate into real merchandise? So, and all that kind of community management happened online, right? They also had physical events, but mostly it's happening online. So I think the Gen Z, they want to be part of something. I mean, we all want to be part of something, but to be honest, sometimes I'm like, okay, what is a good product? I like the brand, maybe I'm 40, so maybe I'm old school, but I like this watch brand. What is the new product? I'm just gonna buy it. I don't really care about being part of a community. I kind of buy something maybe for status sometimes, but Gen Z, again, I'm generalizing, but Gen Z, they want to be part of something and they want to be able to create content around it. All the Gen Zs are on TikTok and on this, so everything they do in their lives has to have that potential content power. So if you go to a concert, it's because you're going to be able to show it to your audience. If you buy something, there must be a story behind it so that you can also talk to your friends about, hey, I bought this digital asset and this is the story, all that. So storytelling, content creation, I think is really at the core of Web3, and I think that's why it's really resonating with this new generation. But it's still it's still too complicated. We have to simplify it, you know, like creating wallets and like buying crypto and like all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
a lot
still
of
complicated.
technical barrier.
It's
getting to
complicated.
Web3 still today.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of companies are trying to solve that.
I think
Making
they
it
are,
very
yes.
easy,
Yes.
super easy for marketers.
But that's why the one of the low-hanging fruit in terms of the audience are gamers, because gamers are very tech savvy, right? Like they spend a lot of time on the computer and they're very tech savvy. They understand game economy and stuff like that. So that's why, you know, with Animoca Brands and Darewise, we're focusing on that audience, and then after we'll expand. But there is a lot of potential for a lot of different activations for sure.
Yeah. All right. So we talk a lot about the AI, crypto, metaverse, Gen Z, and a lot still going on the technology development. So how you foresee for like future 5 to 10 years away from now?
Wow, 5 years.
Where at that time, I think AI is already like everywhere.
Yes, for sure.
And the web is already no longer Web3 because everything is already Web3.
Everything is Web3, yes.
When people talk
Totally.
about the web,
Yes.
this is already Web3. And according to Zach from OpenAI, there is no longer having a phone.
Yep.
I'm not sure it's 5 or 10 years later, but definitely future.
Yeah.
So what you envision, particularly around like the development of Web3 or centering around
Yeah,
Web3,
I mean that's
what could be the future looks like?
That's a tough question. I think I need more whiskey.
some
I think I need
wine
more
first.
whiskey for that one. I think I need more whiskey for that one.
Yeah, bring you more creativity to answer this.
So first off, as much as I like to vision the future, I personally don't really think too far ahead. I like to think, especially for our jobs as marketers, I plan like 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead, max. And so that's the way I think, you know, everybody should work. And I think we should definitely look at AI and just on a yearly basis, just keep adopting new things, trying new things, being super curious. Now, yes, let's say 5 years from now, I think, well, first the Gen Z and the younger crowd, they're going to arrive on the job markets,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think these guys are gonna be amazing marketers. And all of us should already think how to onboard these people. And these guys are gonna be like born marketers at 20 years old, like 22 years old. And in Web3, I work with 22 years old like every day, and they're like geniuses.
Yeah.
So I think the job market is really gonna change, because a lot of these people will be kind of AI, you know, already using AI every day. And so 10 years from now, you know, they're gonna be AI natives, and we won't, you know. So I think we have to keep our values and really kind of keep the creativity going, but the technology is gonna really like sweep our profession for sure. You know, AI is gonna do all the, you know, it's already doing part of it, but all the programmatic and advertising and digital advertising, it's like, okay, you know, I have 20K, I want to target these people, do it. You won't need like a team of 10 people to do that.
Yeah.
Sorry for programmatic teams out there, but
It's just evolution.
I think a lot of jobs are going to become obsolete. So, but
definitely it will create new jobs.
I don't know.
right?
I think we create new jobs. I think we have to be like just super flexible into what we're going to do the next few years. I think Zach was right. You know, like we're going to change job fast, earlier than we expect. But there's going to be more interesting things out there to do. I probably didn't answer your question there, but you know, it's hard.
No.
It's a hard
This
one.
is a good insight. So I think everyone just need to stay hungry and curious about new technology. Keep learning every day.
Yes, for sure.
Obviously, no one knows what would the future looks like, but obviously, the direction that we are heading into
But
is like
I think as leaders,
more
it's going to
automated,
be
more intelligent, right?
I think as leaders, it's going to be a, a tough time in terms of managing resources. And I think we really have to think really hard right now how to make sure the teams we have are on the same boat and that we don't leave anyone behind, because we don't want all of us to be every 2 years having to let go of people because they didn't catch the right boat. I think this is really very important. I think we have to really be better people and managers in the next few years. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, but this is at the same time an opportunity. I think opportunity for growth. All right, so great to have you, Timothy, today. But before I'll let you go, would like to just get your thought around IAB.
Yes.
So I think you have been participating in a lot of different events in IAB for years.
Yes.
How do you think about IAB in Hong Kong?
So, I mean, IAB for me was great. I lived in Hong Kong for 8 years. I went to many events. I remember there were subcommittees. I was part of a subcommittee at some point. I was, during my days at LinkedIn, I was part of a social subcommittee.
Nice.
I think first, the most amazing part is networking. I really enjoyed meeting my peers from other medias, also meeting the brands. And just getting that curiosity and the stimulation, I think, is really much needed. I do enjoy, I'm a bit geeky, so I do enjoy reading those reports that the IAB does. They go very deep into some subjects sometimes. I think that's very interesting. And then I think I just learned that there is an IAB chapter in Beijing now. I spend a lot of time in Beijing, so I'm sure I'll connect with these guys. I think the digital advertising just evolved so fast. I still remember 10 years ago, programmatic wasn't a thing, and I think the next few years is going to be very fast in terms of pacing, and we need to stick together as peers to share more. I think there's still too many gated, communities as marketers. We should really help each other, and so I think IAB is where we should help each other. So I invite everybody to join IAB, and when you go to these events, take off your hats of whatever company you work for and just share what you know. I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. Thanks for your input. Thanks for your feedback on IAB, and thanks for your take on all things about the new technology today. Great to have you. Appreciate that. And thanks for the crew here also.
Thank you guys.
Have a great job. All right, so I should leave you go to have another session. You are speaking in another session, right?
I need to go.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Timothy.
Thanks, Roger.
I believe that art is a universal language. We not only connect cultures, we also connect people. Hong Kong is the cultural hub of Asia. Culture builds based on the stories of peoples and our histories. It plays a role in the art ecosystem. We have an expanded art cultural landscape. We don't only have the international galleries as well as the local art spaces, but also we have world-class museums such as M+, Palace Museum, Taikund, Basel and the South China Morning Post. We both serve as a platform to bring together the people and the cultures to really amplify our stories to the rest of the world. My name is Angel Siang Le, and I work with the South China Morning Post.